days of growing hair and male pattern baldness and that sort of
Bald monkeys?
thing. Yeah, I don't know.
You could be onto something with bald monkeys.
Okay.
Are they bald, like, on their head, or, like, are they bald everywhere?
I was picturing on their head, but maybe it's funnier if it's
Speaking of the mic. Because, like, don't monkeys have, like, bald butts?
They do have bald butts. I was thinking, like, on their...
Too far. Too close to the mic.
I was thinking, like, on their head, but maybe it'd be funnier if it was all over. I'm thinking.
Maybe it'd be funnier if they had hairy butts and they were working on drug to make the hair on their butts fall off. It's a flip.
Oh, okay.
They're self-conscious about their
hairy
butts.
They want hairless butts, and they don't want hair on their butts.
As you would.
Yeah. Okay.
As a monkey.
Because that's attractive to your mate or potential mates.
I don't know.
I don't know. So I've heard.
What have you heard?
That is what I've heard.
Don't believe those rumors.
Don't
about
believe
me
the hype.
And monkey butts. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do a bit where I play the wrong thing at the wrong time. I'm trying to do a bit where I am suggesting that I was coupling with monkeys, but you were you were quoting Chuck D. So respect. I want to hit this button. You never do this. You never set this up on the air because it never works right?
Uh-oh.
That's the thing that we find ourselves in. Here. It says, so check this out. It says, find the file. There's the file. Okay, so yeah, Windows 10 can eat a monkey's butt. It's Just Enough Show podcast. I'm your host, Caliban, joined as always by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Mika and Hana.
And we are here to bring you all the news that's fit to cast in the world of nerdy entertainment. And to do that, we've got to knuckle down.
Yes.
Because we got an hour.
That's right.
It's an hour show.
Woo!
Didn't you know? The show has never been more than an hour, and it shall not... What?
Nothing.
We will continue that proud tradition today.
Yes. Let's do it. No dead air. Let's keep going.
Whoa. Listeners know who the Satan of this show is.
Whoa.
The antagonist. The adversary. Rhymes with Bika? It's not a word.
Hey.
What? Nothing rhymes with Mika. It's like orange. Zika. It's like Zika.
Plenty of things rhymed
with
Mika in Japanese, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I asked you before what Japanese rappers are like, and I don't feel like I got like a good enough. If I was a fan of Japan culture or Japanese culture and rappers, I would just spit a bar, right? Like you would have something ready to go. You'd be like, something rhymes with Fuji or something like that.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, right. You don't have that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have something revved up, ready to go, memorized for you. There's a here. I'll
You call yourself a Samurai Champloo fan? They're rapping all the time.
Yeah, but I don't have them memorized. Sorry.
I have rap memorized. I have too much rap. I wish I could erase that part of my drive.
Well, I'm just saying I don't have Japanese rap memorized. There's a Japanese rap group in particular that I really like, and I'm sure there's some other really great ones out there, but they're called...
You don't need the stuff, but you really like them.
I do really like them. I have an album of theirs. They're called Rhymester, and they're pretty great.
Really?
Yeah.
Rhymester?
Yeah.
This is like a cultural exchange program. Could an American rapper be named Yokozuna or something like that? And that would be...
Why not?
Rhymester?
Yeah, why not?
That doesn't even...
They have random English in their raps, too. So.
Okay, all right.
I'm telling you, they're good.
When they rap Englishly...
Oh, my goodness.
Not a thing. Like Kid Rock. Can't you imagine him saying, like, and when I step to the club, it's gonna be bonsai or something like that, right?
Ugh. Yeah, I guess.
When we do it, it's it's self-consciously going like, "Hey, it's a Japanese," right?
Yeah.
When they do it, are they doing that too? Are they trying to evoke the idea? Because I don't feel like I feel like okay, all right, let's go.
Oh boy.
Just asking questions. The racist theater.
Oh boy.
I feel like their culture is easily digestible in a lot of ways.
In some ways.
Bonsai. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, right.
I'm going kamikaze. Oh, I got it.
Yeah, right. I mean...
Their culture is like Legos. You can just take one Lego. I'm stepping on this Lego, I think.
You mean like you can just say one random word?
But do we have that too? Like, I feel like our words are just so declarative of objects and things. We don't have a lot of words that mean ideas, and we have to borrow them from other countries when we do. Like ennui, that's like just a total French word.
Yeah, I mean,
I
don't know that we necessarily have
depressed.
Yeah, right.
What rhymes with depressed?
Impressed. I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know that we.
Depress.
Yeah. Ugh. I don't know if we have like what you're saying. I don't know that we have.
I don't know what I'm saying either.
But
I just wanted you to rap some Japanese.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll try to practice something for next time.
No, we'll do it right now. We only had an hour.
But. Because I don't have anything, and I'm not confident enough in my either my Japanese or my rapping style.
I lose confidence.
Yeah, right. But I mean, it's like the random English is like random English in any like Japanese song or in anime or whatever. They like how English sounds.
I guess
they like how it looks.
I'm sure culturally it's just a mirror experience. I'm sure it's exactly the same because we do the same thing, although I feel like there's only like a dozen or maybe a half a dozen Japanese words or terms that anybody could even pull down, in the West.
Yeah, generally speaking, yeah, sure.
But so maybe there's a little more cultural obsession or it's a little deeper over there because American culture gets exported all over the world, and we're kind of like always on stage and everything, and so maybe there's just a larger lexicon that a Japanese person would have of like, okay, or whatever.
I mean, okay is kind of.
I'm trying to remember what Japanese characters shout in fighting games when they're saying English, right?
I mean, okay is something that has. And I don't remember the history of it exactly, but it's definitely...
I can tell you the history of okay, we just don't have time.
No, I mean in Japan. Like, it's within the Japanese lexicon. It's
Mr. Okay went over there, and he said, well, let me show you how to do okay. That's an inside joke that you get if you listen to Sailor Noob, which is a great show about... And we just did a stealth ad for it, talking about Japanese rap. Today we're talking about Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yes.
We just keep coming back.
Yep.
And she can see us the whole time. Wherever
with her giant eyes.
Okay, all right. We're not going to do too much of that today. We want to do a little because we have to bring these people down.
We have to razz her a little bit because she's so fantastic.
And she's so successful.
Yeah.
And you're going to be seeing a lot of her forever.
Yeah. For a real,
we'll see.
Real long time.
I feel like our memories are short and no one remembers the last It thing. What was the last It girl? Not to be sexist, I just want to keep it in the same lane. Zazie Beetz. I think we're finally drying up on the Zazie Beetz.
Oh, I was going to go, I guess, further back and say like Keira Knightley or something like that.
Keira Knightley is...
She's still around?
Yeah, she's still around. She's still around. She's still around. She's had a modest but solid career.
Yeah.
She's been nominated for an award or two.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell's kid, I think, we're seeing the back of him now.
Oof. I like him.
Well, there was a guy that was basically just him in the Emma movie, which we'll talk about later, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't as he wasn't as good of an actor.
Real Wyatt Russell? No, he wasn't at all.
No.
But can you see Wyatt Russell doing an English accent though? Maybe that was the problem. He read for that. I bet he read for that.
Maybe that was the problem.
Shows your butt, and also say "would did it twa." That's what I think. Let's talk about the news. Okay, we got this news, and we're just going to blow through it real fast because we got to get to this Anya Taylor-Joy bit. So, did you see Starfire's new supersuit?
No.
We're on all the same channel. I forget. Well, Starfire got a new supersuit because Tidings is somehow in its third season. I wish them well. I'll watch it when it's on Blu-ray, I guess. But everybody remarked about how she looked like an alien hooker, remember, in the first season?
Yes.
Well, she's got a cool-looking suit. It is not the halter top miniskirt of even the Teen Titans version of Starfire. It's
Sure.
a real-life, grown-up, adult supersuit, and it looks pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So I don't know why
good
they
news.
just didn't start with that.
Because they had to be weird. I don't know.
We were talking about, on the air, I can't remember. We were talking about the amazing Simon Kinberg hit that everybody's looking forward to, the 355, where Jessica Chastain plays another secret agent or something. And Lupita Nyong'o goes in it as well.
Yeah.
It's been totally pushed back. It was supposed to come out in December. We were all waiting, all playing that waiting game, which Wonder Woman has now opted out of by just coming out on VOD and in theaters on Christmas.
I know.
Guess where we're going to be watching it?
VOD.
Exactly.
But I think that was a smart move on Wonder Woman's part.
Yeah.
Although it's like...
Well, she's got the wisdom of Athena.
Yeah. I mean, do you think...
Or is that Shazam?
I don't... Good question. I don't know.
Shazam doesn't have girl god powers, right? They're all like...
I don't know.
It's Solomon. He's the wisdom of Solomon, speed of Hermes.
Yeah.
The butt of Ares. Ares, whatever.
No, I thought
you were going to cut me off and tell your dumb story.
I thought he was going to have like a monkey butt that
I'm
has
white
hair
noise.
on it.
All right. No, we're not going back to that.
No, I do you think that Wonder Woman's going to do okay in theaters and everything?
And there is no success. It will cream on careful.
VOD.
It will make a lot of cream. Let's just get the cream out of here. No dairy products.
Gosh.
It will make a ton of money on VOD. It'll be one of the best,
especially
the
Christmas
highest
Day.
grossing things. Yeah, on VOD, and it will still be a failure because it won't make the domestic and worldwide box office that it would have in a non-pandemic year. And Hollywood's just going to have to get around that and not cancel when they're getting ready to make Wonder Woman 3. Look back at the grosses
that's what I'm worried
and
about.
remember we were all sick this year, although you'll be a totally new executive because everybody got fired already. And remember that it was because we were all in a chew, and then just make Wonder Woman 3. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Do you know about Super Mario World?
I do not.
At Universal Studios.
Yes.
And all the Universal Studios. This is like Florida and California, Singapore, and the other one. I think it's in Japan.
I think so too.
There is a Super Nintendo World. It's going to open in spring 2021. Hopefully not kill everybody.
Fingers crossed.
And it looks like this. She's looking at it. You think, they're in a video game.
Cool.
That's real. That's what it looks like. It looks like a Nintendo world, and it will feature Mario stuff. This is an aerial view of it. It'll feature Mario stuff.
That's cool.
It'll feature Zelda stuff, presumably. And no Kid Icarus. Skunked again. And it has huge walls around it, so you can't take pictures from the outside, because that ain't how it works.
Well, I can't say I blame them, but all right. Okay, fine. Be that way. I hope that COVID is over by the time it opens, but we'll see.
Me too. We're going to talk about the Queen's Gambit in a little bit. I'll just put in right here that the Queen's Gambit, Netflix always trumpets when it has an out-and-out hit.
Oh, of course.
And then in the meantime, it doesn't tell us anything. So it makes me wonder if something did good but not as good. Like, what's the threshold for them going, Mom, put this on the fridge? But apparently, Queen's Gambit has 62 million viewers over what? I don't know. 62 million households, I guess, have watched it, which is its highest viewership for a limited series.
Yeah, I mean, it was like number one on Netflix for a couple of weeks. So,
but it's like a limited series, which there's already talk of a sequel.
How are they going to do that?
I don't know, because it's Netflix, remember? So it's just basically just another short. It just becomes a series. It's not limited. It's just a series.
But how? But what does her story become?
Well, she's based on Bobby Fischer, right?
I guess.
I read an article by an interview with Kasparov, who consulted on the series.
Okay, chess player.
Gary Kasparov. Grand champion.
Okay.
Master.
Oh, okay. I think I read something about that too.
One of the youngest. And he consulted on the series. He also added authenticity to the games on the show. It's a very fascinating article. Can't remember who it's with. Just type in Gary Kasparov interview. And he was talking about her and about the world that she lives in and how she is based in a lot of ways on Bobby Fischer, who had like a meteoric rise from a young age. He was also like an orphan who learned chess or whatever, right? And had experienced a lot of the same substance abuse issues and stuff like that, and then just died suddenly. So season 2 could have her like trying to defect to Russia and all the kind of goofy things that Bobby Fischer did.
Yeah.
I think maybe somewhere in there he didn't pay his taxes or something like that. Don't quote me on that.
Okay. All right.
Not a good future.
No.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay. All right.
They're not going to recast Black Panther. That's good. Although filming on Black Panther 2 begins in July.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this one. I kind of have mixed feelings. I kind of feel like I'm totally okay with Shuri becoming the Black Panther eventually, but I kind of want to see. I don't really want it to the character to totally die.
Imagine how empty that sentence would be without the word "totally."
I know. What am I trying to say?
You're trying to say, and I think that public opinion rests firmly on this viewpoint. Recast. Pull the Band-Aid off. Put the Band-Aid in an ice bath and then give it purple herb for the strength of the Black Panther and just do it already, right?
I think it's important to see a strong black superhero and somebody that is continuing on in the Marvel universe, and to not have them die off screen.
You know what I say? Do a glow up, right?
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Or glow down. Sorry.
Ooh.
Pick a do a Kumail, right? So pick.
Oh my goodness.
Marvel trainers have the literal super soldier serum. Somebody's made that observation, right? And so instead of taking like Chadwick Boseman's like tall and like lanky, but he was never like super ripped, right? And then he got into the Marvel program. So like take like the kid from Dope or something, or slim somebody down. Take Hannibal Buress and run him through the program.
Oh my God.
And now he's like got the abs and he can tell jokes. Let's have a funny Black Panther.
A funny T'Challa. Like he's just like quipping here, left and right. Then Shuri's gonna be like, What's my job now? Does the king seem
different to you?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And he's like, I gave him a joke book. So. It's all the same. I saw a joke that was like, man, why does Spider-Man have such great comebacks? And it's because with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh.
Show's over.
That's bad. I had to think about it for a second. Yeah.
It took the internet and 65 years to come up with that.
Oh, my God.
What else is going on? The Sonic the Hedgehog director is directing a Pink Panther movie.
Oh.
It's a CGI live-action hybrid.
Oh, okay.
He took that blue turd and he made $215 million domestic out of it or whatever it was. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
It's like the second highest grossing film of the year.
I was going to say.
And, COVID year.
I know.
And so we're going to do Pink Panther. We're going to do, remember how Pink Panther was a diamond? And then also just a cartoon in the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
Not anymore, baby!
Was it Inspector
Now
Clouseau?
He's a cat.
Yeah.
And he'll have James Marsden to drive him around places.
Oh, please don't tell me James Marsden's going to be in it. He needs to not be with the animated sidekick.
Hold your breath. Hold your breath or don't hold it.
Say no, James Marsden.
How you feel about the fact that James Marsden will absolutely be in this film.
Don't do it.
Some other news. Black Panther is going to end after 4 seasons on the CW. I'll have to get the DVDs because I haven't watched it. Lightning.
Oh, Black Knight Lightning. Okay, I was confused.
Black Panther, Pink Panther, third Panther story. Right?
Yeah, right.
But not Black Lightning.
Black Lightning. Oh, okay.
He taught Superman how to fly.
Only 4 seasons, huh? Why did they decide that?
Because it doesn't really exist in the CW universe, and it doesn't have sexy teens that can make eyes at each other for 10 years.
Well, you could change both of those things, CW.
You absolutely could.
Just saying.
Is your favorite character Jeans Guy? Baby Yoda or Jeans Guy? Which one is your favorite?
Still Baby Yoda, but I know what you're talking about. Somebody did a mock-up action figure for Jeans Guy.
Yeah, it's be hard to cosplay Jeans Guy.
You'd have to have like a wall and then like...
Hands in the pockets. This is the way.
Right. And then have somebody else play Carl Weathers.
Oh, no, that's right. No, it's easy. 3/4 of a wall.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to see that.
Yeah, you will.
If anybody doesn't know, I don't know what it is because I feel like the Mandalorian is meticulous in the way that it's made.
I didn't notice
and
it when I was watching
95% fake anyway. So while you're doing, apparently that shot didn't have a lot of digital retouching except for maybe blasters or something like that.
Yeah.
And so somebody totally missed just a PA in the shot. I wonder. Don't fire him. Let him learn. It doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, don't fire him.
And I'm sure you've gone in and erased it digitally already if I go on Disney Plus and watch it. Something else that happened, and I didn't even think about this. I did see this during the episode, but I didn't think about it. When Cara Dune is beating up all those... don't do it. It doesn't matter. People wearing masks, let's say. In the beginning of that episode, she does a front flip or whatever and takes a guy out, and then the pad that she lands on is just right there in shot. Like it's just,
Oh, seriously?
The Everlast pad that they
I
use.
didn't notice that.
To do flips and rolls
so they
on.
didn't digitize.
And I remember seeing her flip the guy onto a black square and just thinking, okay, it's just something in the room. But no, that was like...
That was a pad.
The pad, the stunt pad. So what's going on, guys?
What is going on, guys? Is this working from home?
All those Game of Thrones people are like, we're out of a job. Mandalorian season 2? All right. I'll bring the coffee.
I know. Next episode, coffee.
HBO is going to do this Last of Us TV show.
Like the video games?
Like the video games.
Oh.
We talked about this a little earlier in the year when it was being floated. Remember. Craig Mazin, the executive producer and creator of Chernobyl, which was not good, not terrible, will be executive producing it. Yeah.
Okay.
And, we'll see how that works out.
Live action, I'm assuming?
Here's the thing. There's only 2 games. It took in like 7 years, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have to go off and do your own thing. So,
if you want it to keep going, yeah.
Good luck. Well, well, someday we'll talk about The Last of Us.
Okay.
It's controversial, believe it or not.
Well, I know that the second game for sure was.
Here's some new stuff. Well, the first like I said, we'll talk about it someday.
Okay.
Deadpool has the Molyneux sisters. That's another French word. Writing it, they write on Bob's Burgers.
Oh. Okay, so they've won
Emmys.
Deadwood, and then now they're writing Bob's Burgers.
So how do we fit H. John Benjamin into Deadpool 3?
Oh, I thought you said Deadwood. I was confused.
I probably did.
Deadpool 3.
Kind of doing it fast.
John Benjamin into Deadpool 3. Well,
MODOK.
He's got to be... Oh.
Everybody thinks MODOK is, I'm MODOK!
Yeah,
but what
right.
if he is, yeah, that's right, I'm MODOK. I'm a machine designed only for killing.
I would just laugh at everything he says. He would say like the most mundane, horrific things, and I would just think it's funny.
H. John Benjamin does quips a little bit, but mostly his thing is reacting. He's the kind of a straight guy, right?
Yeah.
The arch straight guy.
Right.
So it could be you turn up the quips on Deadpool, and then MODOK is like, yeah, whatever, just kill him, type thing. Like he's just reacting to all the fierce, hilarious, non-stop quips.
I
the
like
thing about
that.
the Merc with the mouth is he really is annoying after a while, right?
Yeah.
Like you do just want him to die or shut up.
You do kind of want to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we're reaching that point.
Yeah, sorry.
We hit it in Deadpool 2 for sure.
Yeah, I know,
okay,
right?
so hopefully that Deadpool funny.
Yeah.
There's going to be a new Predator. Yay!
I saw something about this.
We're rebooting the Predator.
Okay.
Dan Trachtenberg, who he directed 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Okay.
Will be directing
I've never
it.
Seen. All right.
And the script will be written by a guy that wrote on Jack Ryan and Treadstone.
I don't even know what that one is. All right.
Treadstone is an action show that was like, I think it was Hulu or something, and it's like, it's in the world of Jason Bourne, but not Jason Bourne. And Jeremy Renner's like, hey, they didn't call me. I was too busy working on my album.
Okay. Confession, I've never seen Predator. I should probably put it on my list of movies to see. I've never seen. Oh, no, wait, that's not true. I've seen the first one.
We saw Predator in a theater.
I've seen the first one.
We saw a 35mm Predator.
Yeah, I had a brain fart. Sorry. I've seen the first one. I haven't seen all the other ones.
Mika.
I know.
Zika.
Are any of the other ones worth seeing? Let me ask you that. Like, or is the Predator versus Alien film? Or any of those? No. No.
2, yeah.
Okay.
Predators, I don't think I've actually seen, although people say good things about it. The Predator, your mileage may vary depending on if you're a Shane Black completionist.
This is a confusing
naming
sequence for films.
Yeah.
Okay.
This will be the 5th one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's called probably just going to be Predator 2022 or whatever.
Oh, God, just to confuse you even further.
Amazon sets an early 2021 date for Coming to America. Coming to America, like Jungle to Jungle, the sequel to Coming to America.
You said 2022?
That's 2021.
What? For like in the movie theater? I'm confused.
Stop talking.
Yeah.
There's a sequel to Coming to America. You know the movie that came out 35 years ago?
Yeah, I know that.
It stars Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
It's streaming on Amazon in 2021.
Oh, it's streaming on Amazon. I missed that part. Okay.
Yes. It was originally going to come out in theaters December 18th. We know how that went.
Yeah.
Paramount's having a tough time here.
Yeah. Okay.
But not! Because check out this new movie.
What?
Chaos Walking.
Oh, boy.
That's not Paramount, though. Quick review of Chaos Walking. Trailer. Go. That's pretty quick. Now, do you have hair on your butt or no hair on your butt?
Let me check. Come here, monkey scientist. No, first of all, I think it's a terrible title. It doesn't really give you any sort of idea of what it's about, and it doesn't encapsulate what it is.
Well, no, that doesn't, but the trailer immediately does. And
yeah.
What it's about is, like, what if What Women Want, but more sci-fi? Actually, What Women Want was never sci-fi. It was he got hit by lightning or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if What Women Want, but sci-fi?
Except it's not.
And it's what men want.
It's what men want. Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah,
less
exactly.
Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
More Ray Skywalker.
Yeah.
Discuss.
Yeah, exactly.
Pad with famous actors.
Yeah.
Who don't know what they're doing there. Also, this thing was shot like 5 years ago or something.
I know,
like
that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Daisy Ridley, Tom Holland, and Mads Mikkelsen is in it, but yeah, he didn't get a credit, like in the trailer.
In the trailer, no.
Which I think is crazy. But anyways,
which one of my eyes will be hurt in this one?
I know.
What facial appliance will I wear?
Does he come with his own?
It's like he's menacing. That's why he was.
Kit?
He's in a movie called The Hunt, which is about pedophilia. Yes. All the Q people just showed up. And now we're going to get all kinds of weird links. Don't click on our links if you're watching this on a YouTube thing. It's a good movie about pedophilia, if that makes any sense. Anyway, it's a good movie, and the reason it works is because he is both handsome and heroic and also menacing and weird. But you have to push that over. He can't just be good looking if he's the bad guy in a spy movie or a sci-fi movie. So it's like we got to cut that face. Let's cut it up.
No.
So that's where we are with that.
Yeah.
I think this coming out January 22nd is all you need to know about it, right?
Chaos Walking.
This
also coming out
smacks
January
of
12th.
Contractual obligation.
Yeah.
January dumping ground, right?
Let's just get it out there at this point.
Well, I'm not going to see it in theater, but I'd see it on VOD.
Sure.
But it looks like crap.
It does.
I think that's just about it. I was going to say real fast that we were talking about rapping before, and I forgot to bring up the fact that not Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller is going to be Trash Can Man in The Stand, but don't worry about it.
What?
Nelly is a rapper, and Nelly is going to play Chuck Berry in a Buddy Holly biopic called Clear Lake. And it's like, I guess you would call the Napoleon movie Waterloo. Would you call the Jesus movie Golgotha?
I don't know.
Clear Lake, Iowa is, bye.
Yeah, where the plane went down.
Boom, bam.
Right.
This is the Big Boppa dying.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, it's going to center on Buddy Holly, but it will be one of these cultural recontextualizations of, like the previous Buddy Holly pick. Who played? Was it James Woods? Somebody weird played Buddy Holly, and you're like, that guy played Buddy Holly?
Ooh, I don't know the answer
Might
to
have been
that.
James Woods. Anyway, where it's like, oh, I'm sure I like all these white people listening to all these white songs. And it's like, no, Buddy Holly he went on these like tours, where there's like 15 stars. Like you see him Walk Hard, but it's like,
Yeah.
So it's Elvis Presley, then Buddy Holly, then the Big Bopper, then Dewey Cox.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And he played, and they were interracial bills,
Yeah.
So yeah, he's going to play Chuck Berry. He won't be the star of the movie. And if you look at the list, the director directed like one movie anybody's ever heard of.
Okay.
Nobody's heard of the writer. Nobody's heard
Okay.
of the star. So
Interesting,
This is
though.
one of those like late Friday news things. Where it's like, what can we get out of this? No, Nelly.
Okay. I mean, I guess it's good to hear that Nelly is
Fellow
doing
St.
stuff.
Louisian Chuck Berry.
Yeah, right. And I think you mentioned previously when we were talking about this off the air that like Chuck Berry, pretty slim guy, and Nelly.
Oh.
Nelly's he's
Tell
very
my jokes for me, will you?
No, he's very
Here,
muscular
you take
now.
it. I got to deal with my hairy butt. Yeah, Nelly, in an attempt to heal this persistent, pernicious facial wound, they gave him steroids to regrow that skin, and the effect was he's Nelly Hulk now. He's a big
right.
guy. So it remains to be seen if he'll slim down for the role, because Chuck Berry is skinny musician.
Yeah,
They're
right.
doing drugs. They were all doing drugs.
I'm
not
sure.
singling Chuck Berry out.
Yeah, right. But
So it's like suit splitting, he's trying to do the kick thing.
Yeah, right.
Boom, the stage. Johnny be good. Is that the end of the news?
I think it is.
I'll play the music. All right, so we only went like a half an hour into the news. That's fine.
That's actually
That's
really
pretty good
for us.
Don't comment on the show. We'll just go ahead. Let's do the segment.
Yeah, right.
So I don't think we even really made it clear, but nominally the reason that we're doing this is obviously the release of New Mutants on VOD.
Yes.
So people can actually watch it, and on physical media.
Yes.
And we have now seen, we did it.
Yes.
We've seen, it's only been 5 years, I guess. 5 years after the initial announcement and development of this film.
Has it really been that long?
It has finally landed in theaters. The Josh Boone directed New Mutants,
Yes.
featuring the New Mutants.
Yeah.
Who are totally new.
Who are totally new. That's what we know about them. They're new.
Synopsis, I guess, is what we usually do. Synopsize this.
Okay. Danny Moonstar, the beginning of the film, is living on a reservation with her dad, and they're getting attacked by something. It's unclear. And she wakes up, and she's in this facility, and she finds out that everybody else died in this attack or phenomenon, what have you. People were told it was a tornado, but it probably was not. She is there. This facility is run by this one doctor who is played by Alex Braga, and there are other kids like her that are mutants who have some sort of mutant powers, but they have recently gone through recently developed their powers. The powers have recently come to light, and they don't know how to control them yet, and they don't really know what they are.
Yes, it's customary in the Marvel Universe that your mutant powers first surface
during puberty.
Your 21st birthday, right?
Right.
Oh, no, I mean, when puberty, right?
Yeah. So they're kind of trying to figure this all out, and Alex Braga tells them, "Oh, well, once we evaluate you and you're good enough, you'll go on to another facility, and eventually maybe you'll be released or blah blah blah, what have you." But there's weird things happening, and they feel like it's a cage, and they don't quite trust her or the other kids and her, and
wow. Synopsize, not retell the movie.
Okay, sorry. Basically, they they find out that she's not what she said she was, and they team up
and
together.
they knew Mutant.
And they knew Mutant.
All the way.
All the way.
I give you an F, incomplete, because you forgot, as we open, exterior, night, winter, there are 2 bears inside you.
Oh, God. All
Jim
right,
McMahon,
fine.
and let's say Willie Gault.
Yeah, right.
What? This, what a terrible film. And the thing is that we all know that this has been, I mean, we've been talking about this for 5 years. You know, this movie is almost as old as this show. So we've been talking about this for, don't do that, for a long ass time. And what we know about this movie is that it was taken away from Josh Boone, right?
Yeah, it seems like it.
It was commissioned by him after the success of The Fault in Our Stars, his adaptation of the John Green book, which I've not seen.
I haven't either.
Are you sure? I thought I walked by and you were watching it one time.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
I would remember.
Fair enough. And so that was successful. He's also a guy who's got a ton of irons in the fire. I won't go through them all, but he's connected to a lot of pop culture properties, and he's, geeky type stuff. And so his star is on the rise, although a lot of them are canceled or on turnaround, or we'll see if any of them come out.
Oh,
and it was taken away from him, right? Yeah. Because he was supposed to make a horror film. We were going to try to branch out. We have to compete with MCU because this was a Fox movie. Now it doesn't matter. And so this was going to be a different take on superheroes. It's a haunted house movie. I called it The Shitting instead of The Shining.
Yes.
That can't be the title because of iTunes. But anyway, it's, The Shitting. And so that was good. But then it was taken away because Fox was trying to readjust. And they're like, wait, that's not what we want. We're going to re-edit this. I think Boone was involved with the reshoots, but they put things on pause. Rosario Dawson was playing Cecilia Reyes, and she had to
Alex Braga
Harvey Keitel drop out of this thing, and they had to reshoot all of her parts.
Yep,
that happened to him twice. He was in Apocalypse Now, and then he was also
Harvey Keitel.
Yeah, and he was in Eyes Wide Shut as well.
Oh,
and he got pulled out of both of those, and they had to reshoot all of his stuff.
Oh my gosh!
But anyway. So this is supposedly, and then they edited it. He couldn't edit it at all. And so when it came out, he saw it for the first time, I think. And he did the right thing. He did what he should have done to protect his career. He threw it under the bus. But my thing is, your movie sucked originally. Because when you look at this thing, and I don't know what, I'm not good at the wig thing, like the Fantastic Four debacle, like supposedly, all the Sue Storm wig scenes are the new scenes and her regular hair are the old scenes.
Okay.
And so supposedly there's a much better movie in there. It's my movie. It's Snyder Cut, #, whatever.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah.
But I'm not good at that, but I couldn't really tell. And you couldn't tell anyway, because there are parts that clearly had to be shot initially, and there are parts, all the Alice Braga stuff is new stuff. Right. But it all matches up. So this was basically your movie anyway, right? It might have been like spookier and scarier, but you were always going to make a movie with 6 people in it that took place in a bare-ass set of old rundown hospital.
In the middle of nowhere.
It was never going to be any more than this.
Yeah.
It was always going to be just a low-scale failure, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you can disagree with me. You don't have to agree. I'm being mean. You can be nice if you want. Or we can just
Well, I mean, I guess it's hard to say, right? Because I haven't read his original script. I don't know what it was originally like.
He'll release it.
But
the 2 Bears thing is just Josh Boone is not John Green, but Josh Boone wouldn't have wrote that, right? That's so bad. That's so stupid.
I have a question about that.
That's a Star Trek meme. Inside you, there's 2 wolves. Sorry about the transporter malfunction. Like, it's just like that has been around a lot. That is
What
not.
is the 2 wolves thing?
That's
Is that just
I told you. It is supposedly a literal Indian proverb about which the one you feed is the one that gets stronger.
So why change it to bears? Because it's a demon bear.
Well, it might have been bears initially. I don't know. You look at Wikipedia now, and you don't know if the New Mutants fans have got at it, but I've heard wolves and I've heard bears. But the thing is, that's like starting a movie with Webster's Dictionary defines bears as something that shits in the woods. Like, it's just not good writing.
No, it's not. And then they felt the need to end the film with it too. It's like,
well, you got to bring it home. That's just bad writing.
Yeah.
but technically good writing, which is the worst kind of writing.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
And the movie is full of that. There's no joy. There's nothing interesting. All the things that are funny aren't really all that funny. All the things that are clever aren't that clever. Like, we're going to talk about our girl, Anya Taylor-Joy. It's probably the standout character, mostly because she has the most to do and she's wearing the most hats. And it is too many hats, but they're all enough hats for me to say, take a portal to a solo film. I'd rather see like an Ilyana solo film than see this. But like she does a Run Forrest Run joke at one point. Which is like, what?
Well, there are a lot of like jokes that are like, I'm like, what? And then like they for some reason like they have Buffy clips in here like twice, and it's like,
yeah, that's okay.
I'm like, why?
Since we're just flitting around, let's go right to that.
Okay.
The Buffy thing was really weird.
Yes.
And I don't know, I bet you Josh Boone is a huge Joss Whedon fan.
Okay, sure.
Because of the Buffy stuff.
Yeah.
But also, like, there are bits of dialogue that are not lame retread, fifth, sixth draft writer stuff, like the Run Forrest Run thing. Like, at one point, Blue Hunt, who... Can we have a quick little discussion? Is Blue Hunt one of the worst actresses in Hollywood?
She's not great.
This was shot a long time ago. Maybe she's gotten better, but not great.
We've seen her in things since.
Not an anchor for a film, I'll tell you that much.
But
she goes up to Another Life. She goes up to a clock tower. Well, she's just supposed to be like sexy chick in that, and she does that okay. She goes up to the clock tower, presumably to commit suicide, even though we've never seen any pain or sadness on her face because it's Blue Hunt. And she's like, nobody would care, or nobody knows, or whatever.
I'm all alone. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all alone. And then Rain's up there as well, trying to talk her down. Rain's like, there's two people up here, so that means you called me a nobody. It's like, that's not clever. That's trying really hard. You're covered in sweat, and dogs can't sweat. That's why they go like this. So anyway, like, it's badly constructed. Rain is, maybe this was always going to be a thing. I need to stop referring to the two scripts. There are two scripts. Yeah. There you go. There's your thing.
There are two scripts inside you.
And you starve them both to death.
One is good and one is bad.
Yeah. But anyway, Rain is the exposition character and walks around and goes like, this is a thing. This is a guy. This is Bobby. This is Jimmy. This is...
I know, which I didn't really like that either. Yeah. And I don't like... Another thing I found hard to believe is... I mean, I guess we don't know how long the rest of the kids have been here, right?
You get the idea it's been a while.
But they don't know each other really that well.
No.
And it's like, they're always learning new things about themselves.
And there's like 2 seconds in the film where, there's a little montage, a musical montage, and then they sneak off and they go to the attic. And those are supposed to be like the Breakfast Club-esque scenes.
Yeah.
And I have to imagine
fun,
that they
teenagers.
were... Yeah, I have to imagine that those are additions. That's the second bear. Those are additions later. Like, make it fun. Make it... Let's split this thing in 80 directions.
Yeah, right.
That'll make it good. A lot of hay was made about the fact that Berto, the actor that plays Berto, is Hispanic, but not black. Because Roberto da Costa is black. Specifically, black. His origin story involves racism. Yep. And you have to wonder how Brazilian actress Alice Braga feels about this Brazilian character who's supposed to be black not being black.
Yeah. Well, I think the actor...
maybe she's a racist. I don't know. You can come from a diverse country, but like representing her country and the many ethnicities who live in Brazil, you think that it would be like...
Well, I thought that actor was actually from Brazil as well, but obviously he's not black.
Right, that's exactly.
Right, and that's the problem.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he took the role.
I know. But they also didn't really give him a whole lot to do, and it's just, but it was like, why do I care about any of these characters? And
yeah, I thought it was interesting that, spoilers for a movie that you've already seen or you're not going to see, all of their superhero origins involve, incredible disaster and death.
Yes.
And you take
all of them.
Here's our take on Sam Guthrie, flat-topped puppy dog. He's like a redneck goth kid.
Yep.
And instead of his origin story involving his abilities manifesting and him saving lives, he kills his father and like 12 other men in a coal mine accident.
Yep.
And Bobby literally burns his girlfriend to death while he's having sex with her.
Uh-huh.
And the reason that they poisoned everybody's origin stories is that they decided that I don't want to call her Blue, Danny Moonstar's origin story had to involve the death of her father. That was their concept. Now, to make it so she wasn't the only mutant that murdered somebody when her powers first manifested, which, by the way, yeah, her powers have always been a little, like, nebulous in the comics, but they're barely defined in this movie. Like, at one point, somebody just has to say... And also, they pose it as the ultimate mystery of, like, it's some kind of thing that we're tracking, you know? Like, it'd be like if in X-Men, in the last 10 minutes, somebody shoots Wolverine and the wound heals and they go, he's a regenerator! Oh, now let's finish this movie.
Yeah, right.
Like, we could be doing things, I mean, you could figure out on your own, I guess, but Alice Braga has to say, she makes your worst fear come to life or whatever.
Yeah, come true, yeah.
And then they doesn't use it to... stop Alice Braga or anything. It's completely her power and the main conflict of the movie are the same thing.
Yep.
She is the villain of the movie, basically.
Which is stupid.
By manifesting the demon bear.
Yeah.
You know, but also like she tames it at the end. So it'd be like if Tony Stark's, you know, his secret weapon was Ultron or something like that. You know,
right.
It's just like I don't know.
Then he Ultron becomes his friend,
and the whole thing is weirdly, well, I mean, I guess in a way that happens.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like positioned. Now it's about integration, right? We got to integrate vertically. So weirdly, suddenly in the last X-Men film, Dark Phoenix, everybody loves the X-Men, and they've got a hotline to the White House, and like they're sign my Mystique doll, Mystique, and all this stuff. You know, hated and feared. And so the kids are there, and they, without anybody telling them this, and without any real justification for why they would think this in the world of the film, they think that they're like in training to be X-Men or something like that. Yeah, and you know the X-Men? Yeah, they're super cool. I think we're all going to be X-Men. Okay. Anybody tell you this or anything?
You're in a support group.
You're in an empty hospital being counseled about how your powers have helped you kill people.
And she's monitoring your levels and stuff like that, but she's not training you. She's not really... She has you meditate and saying the mantra control, which is one of the most ridiculous mantras I've ever heard.
No, it's not. It comes back because Danny uses it to control the bear at the end.
I know.
Because that was the whole point of the bear. I hate it. It was a manifestation of her. Oh no, wait, it wasn't. It was an evil Native American spirit that had possessed. No, that's not what it was.
Yeah.
Back to the Buffy thing. Yeah, they showed Buffy a couple times, and they literally. I was thinking about this because when we see Ileana's demons, who I'm glad the movie didn't make explicit, probably raped her over and over again as a child. Because that's the thing about Ileana. She was a young girl. Her powers manifested early. Her powers are making teleportation portals, and the teleportation portals go through
hell, right?
Well, the abyss, but hell, basically. And so, as a very young girl, she goes to hell, and time moves differently in hell. So when she comes back, she's a super gothy teen who has basically to survive in hell. Like let some of her soul become corrupted and evil, you know, but then she's also got, they never explain really how this works, but she's got the soul sword, and her armored arm is like the representation of her purity, what's left of her purity.
Sure.
So she's like an evil kind of demon person, but she's got like this sort of pure side to her.
Okay.
That all came through in the movie, right?
No.
Well, when I saw the smiley face guys that were her tormentors, I was like, that reminds me of the gentleman in Buffy. And then later on, they're watching Buffy, and it's a literal episode with the gentleman in it.
I know. And
I don't even know anything about Buffy.
No.
So what are they even doing? I mean, it's Fox, right?
Yeah. Is that where Buffy was?
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I don't know that at all.
I don't know that at all either.
I don't know.
Well, and then, like, we saw... The other scene that they showed was Willow and another character kissing. And
right. Yes, right.
Like foreshadowing that Rain and Danny were gonna kiss, but which is weird about that is it's like, well, first of all, okay, a couple things. Like they're not a couple at all in the comics.
It's produced by Fox, aired on WB and UPN.
Oh, well, that's interesting. But you know, the characters are not a couple at all in the comics.
It's the ultimate expression, and I think I've talked about this like recently, but I talk about it a lot on the show. It's the ultimate expression of the trope that I hate, which is two women characters are friends and they support each other emotionally. And then when they do, they gotta les out.
We talked about it most recently
and
on
I
co-videos.
think I think representation is important.
Yes.
And I think that we need more same-sex couples.
Yes.
And it's fine to interpret, to take things from one medium, and then when you adapt them, like change and add things and make them more up to date.
Yeah, I agree.
But everything else in this movie sucks, so that's getting brought in with it. I just think like...
Well,
it doesn't go anywhere.
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter. They could have been friends, like close friends. They could have, just everything would have operated the same without them. This is going to sound horrible. Without them shoving a lesbian relationship in there. I hate saying that, and it sounds shitty.
I know.
But
it sounds really crappy.
But that's literally what they did.
It feels like that's what they were doing, though. And it feels like forced diversity.
Yeah, well, boy, you sound shitty too.
I know.
But it doesn't help because this will never go on. We'll never have a New Mutants 2, and we see like their relationship become
develop.
more complex. And no, it's literally just everybody's kissing each other, so these two are going to kiss each other because nobody's kissing Sam. Nobody's getting anywhere near that,
right? Well, and then the other relationship in this film, I was like, that came out of nowhere too. I felt like I didn't feel like that. I know, but like it's not like. At one point, because of their feelings, one of them saves the other one, or with the power of love, they're able to shield them from something.
That's so dumb. I'm
like
surprised it's not in this movie.
Right? But you would think there would have been an attempt at something like that.
Because there's a lot of other dumb things like, I got a piece of coal because I come from a coal mining family. What mine's coal?
I know. I hate it.
Let's give every character a totem. So I have a bear necklace. I got a piece of coal. I have a puppet that is Lockheed that later becomes Lockheed, I guess, when through magic.
Yeah.
Or it's from the demon play. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Ilyana and Lockheed, there is no real connection there.
Like Lockheed as in Kitty Pryde?
Ilyana is Kitty's friend, and so I suppose Ilyana has run into Lockheed, but she's not. That's just an attempt to just jam something in and stick another hat on a character who is already being followed out of the mall by the. So she goes to Lids. Here's my scenario.
Oh my God.
That is suggested by my comment. Like how a better movie is suggested by this one. She goes to Lids and steals a lot of hats, right? And she walks out and the guys in the SUV with the yellow flashing lights are following her. Okay. Anyway.
And they have smiley face masks on.
You brought it home. Gunshot wave. Anything else? The Fault in Our Jeans.
The Fault in Our Jeans.
I like the Burning Lady. Let's talk about the powers. Like we said, magic looks great.
Yeah, magic was awesome.
It's hard to get a real read on Cannonball because he's not able to do much because his whole thing is flying and they can't fly. Rain was okay when they let her transform. There was a real money-saving element, I think, there because they spent it all on the Demon Bear. Berto was great, but it took a while to get there. And what I didn't understand was, he's fiery guy. He burns people. Not really how his powers work, but okay. I think later in the comics he is able to project heat, but it was always just he turns into... You think about dark matter or a black hole as dense.
Yeah.
Like his power is solar power, but he's concentrating it. And speaking of being black, he literally becomes black. Let's draw him. Eyes and a mouth. That's drawing Sunspot.
Right.
Sunspot.
Yeah, right.
But they finally get it right at the
the
end of the movie when he finally masters his powers. And then he's all obsidian and there's little parts floating above him and he's kind of fiery on the inside. Great. We see it from far away for about 5 seconds.
Well, I don't know why. Did we see what wasn't clear from watching the film, unless you put that explanation on it, is that was the reason why he wasn't like that from the beginning is because he's still trying to master his powers.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have thrown a couple of lines in there.
Well, it
or
happened
something.
eventually.
I know.
Here's another thing about Dani. Her powers are literally illusions. They cannot hurt you. The reason the Demon Bear is dangerous is because it's literally a Native American spirit, and by the end of the thing, they're all sucked into the spirit world where he can do violence to your very soul. They're not manifestation creations.
Yeah,
they're illusions.
okay.
So you go, oh my God, spiders! They're not real spiders, but
you think
they're
that they're
so
real.
intense that you're terrified.
Okay, because that's not how it was in the movie. I feel like. Do you?
No.
I mean, like the smiley face guys, I feel like they could actually really hurt you. They seemed like they could.
Yeah, they hurt people.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. So that's weird and lame.
We're done talking about it.
Okay.
Bad, terrible.
F.
Don't go back in time and see this.
Yeah.
In another universe where it's made on time.
Right.
And comes out.
Yeah.
Let's talk real fast, because we're supposed to be talking about a girl.
I know.
Let's talk about the end of Knight's Gambit. Go.
Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit.
Yeah. So I really like this series a lot. It did, especially as the last episode, it did throw some things in there that were a little maybe. I mean, I know it's a fictional, but a little more fantastical than the story had been so far.
She literally plays chess on the ceiling in her mind.
Without the drugs.
But even with the drugs.
Oh.
Wasn't it always fantastical?
I guess there always has been an element of that. But I just... Like, what are we supposed to take as being realistic within the world of the film, of the series, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know.
It's all right.
It's, yeah. Why don't you talk for a minute, because I'm trying to collect my thoughts.
Love to, although we won't have time once I'm done, because we got 3 minutes left.
How do we only have 3 minutes left?
Solid B. Here's the thing. You stick with a thing, you stick with a series, you expect it's going to land, you think it's going to come up with something profound. I did. It didn't. I feel like ultimately it was fairly prosaic. The motto was, have friends. That was the motto. That's what it was really about at the end. Because her friends come together. She, is somebody who grew up without any emotional contact. She deals with her life, and she deals with it through drugs and alcohol, which is, not good. And then it's all rectified by her eventually, meeting her original friend from I see another scenario where the drugs have gotten to her, and this is a Tyler Durden thing, and Jolene died years ago. You know what I mean? She shows up and she's Foxy Brown. She's got a cool car. Like, all these things signal like this character is not real, but she is. She helps her friend get grounded, Beth to ground herself, and then she needs help in the chess thing. The guys call her and they help her out. She accepts that help. She wins, and then she gets to walk out into a fairy tale 1968 Moscow, which I don't think ever existed, but and she's
gorgeous.
Able to play old men in the park and have fun, and
the end.
And it's fine. And so ultimately, okay, I guess the series wasn't really all about all that much, but it's well produced. It's very compelling in spots. There's some amazing performances.
Yeah. And
I was satisfied. Usually when a thing fakes me out, it's like, oh no, we weren't really about anything. It's just like, have friends. It's like, all right. But yeah. That was right.
The one, I guess my biggest...
Better than Emma.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Although that's also about having friends.
But the one thing that I wish they had dealt with, one of the main things I wish they had dealt with more was her struggling with her addiction and
no, she just goes, I'm not going to take drugs anymore.
And her mental
cool,
health.
That's how you get off drugs?
Yeah, right. And she she flushes the pills that are with her in Russia, but we know there are more pills waiting for her at home. Oh, and alcohol is always kind of looming in the corner.
Yeah, I wanted Millie Brady to come back in the last episode and be like, have a vodka bottle and be like, oh, let's go have some fun on the town. I am a model.
Who is Millie Brady?
She's the model character who could have been in this for more episodes.
Oh yeah,
because suddenly she just the pacing of this is really weird. And Beth hits her lowest point in the penultimate episode.
Yes.
Where she's been, every once in a while the whole show will stop and then Beth will dance in her underwear while she's drinking. And we know that she's a drunk, even though her entire life is not affected by this for the most part. She's just out. She's always been sullen and had no friends. You should have to work to I got to work at being a drunk to lose all my friends. And then we have the thing where the girl comes back for the first episode or the second episode, and she's like, "Oh, I really admired you, huh? You're kind of messed up, huh?" And so that's a thing.
Yeah, that's
And then
true.
Beth's gonna get her shit together, but then oh, let's have some French times.
Yeah, right.
And then we catch back up to I was sleeping underwater somehow.
I know,
and that's all packed into the and then there's one more episode, and you're gonna land this thing.
I know. I know.
It's a water landing.
Yeah.
But still.
I still really enjoyed it. Do you think it was weird we went to Mr. Scheibel's funeral, but we didn't go to her mother's funeral, like within the world of the show?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because Alma didn't have any friends.
Yeah.
So there's nothing really to do at that funeral. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Plus, it's not about. Plus, what she can't. She's not going to say goodbye. We spent all this time with Alma. In fact, everything that leading up to Beth just coming back and she's dead was her funeral. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the saying goodbye.
Right.
And she has to be taken away from the show. And so Beth is like rudderless now. And going to Mr. Scheibel's funeral, is like she doesn't feel anything. But then she realizes after she reconnects with her past, what she has lost or what she missed out on. And then it hits her. I thought that was all great. Everything
that was
is
great.
executed well. It's just, it doesn't follow at all what you think of as the story of a gifted character who has demons, and it doesn't, because it's not a movie. They blew it up into 7 hours.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's good and bad, because I think it's bad because we didn't really do a lot of stuff that you would think that you would do. But if she's willing to go back on the drugs, we can get another 7 episodes out of this thing.
I know. It's like I'm.
There's.
I would watch another season, but it's like kind of like, oh, but do I want that for Beth?
But and I guess what I didn't know, and I guess they were doing it the whole time, but I guess what I didn't know that they were doing was like, if they're telling the story of like a very gifted individual who is creative. She doesn't like paint or anything, but she does chess, and it's the artist's dilemma of like dealing with these feelings and this talent and these emotions that I have. And I'm closed off. And again, this is Bobby Fischer probably.
Yeah, right.
And at one point she's like, I feel like I've, took a Michelangelo cartoon, and just took an art gum eraser and just erased it. Have I erased my genius?
Uh-huh.
And it's like, okay, screenwriter, that was right on the nose there. But then we bring it home and you don't realize they were talking down to you because Jolene's like, oh, so, okay, you're calling yourself a genius, I guess? It's like, haha, we're laughing. Wait a minute. They just said the plot out loud. They said the quiet part.
Yeah, they did. But I still think it's worth watching.
Recommend. Let's talk about Morgan.
All right, let's talk about Morgan.
So in our quest to get more joy, we weren't going to watch a Shyamalan film. We weren't doing that.
Nope.
So we ended up
that's
instead.
That's a bridge too far.
Yeah. We'd already seen The Witch. And New Mutants,
which is excellent.
And Emma. And so we went for a 2016 film called Morgan.
Yes.
Which is, what would you call it? We've seen this story before. Right?
I mean...
it's an ex machina.
Yeah,
I compared it to Splice.
Yes.
But that was more about appearances than anything else.
It's
fun!
She's an artificial...
It's very unclear. Much like Queen's Gambit, because they're treading ground that we recognize, they leave a lot of stuff out, which normally I'm like, good, don't talk down to me, movie. But sometimes you don't talk down so much that you leave out a lot of particulars.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, movie, you have my interest. Now you got my attention. Tell me the world here. Like, what is it? Ultimately, it's about... Here's what it's about. They make an artificial girl. Now, we don't know if that means that she has a computer brain or if she has... They say artificial DNA, so they've
there's some
created
DNA.
A human, but they have designed the human to do stuff.
Yes.
But in any other movie, it'd just be, we took a baby and we put super genes in her or something like that. So we never really understand the distinction if they have given her like a artificial consciousness, because somebody says AI at one point. So is her brain like programmed? We don't know all these things.
Yeah.
And they don't matter because the movie is about inhumanity, and it's about, very directly they make a metaphor of the scientists who have all been assigned to mediate and control all these elements of her life, who's a United Colors of Benetton, team of scientists, sit down at this table, and they're her family. It takes a village of scientists to raise a child. You know what I mean? Like it's a very clear metaphor.
Yes.
So and they're all going to be disappointed by the fact that the project is a failure, and what do we do now?
Yeah.
And that's the important part. But I want to know all the cheesy sci-fi stuff too.
Yeah.
Any other cheesy B movie, which this is, would revel in all the like, oh, she can turn lights off with a brain, and it would really get into all that stuff in lieu of the great writing and performances that are in this film. But instead they're like, we got Paul Giamatti, we don't have to do that crap. And I'm like, do that crap.
I know.
This is cheesy sci-fi.
I know.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Instead, with Kate Mara's ass is just dour ass walking around.
Well, and then, like, I guess another important thing about Morgan, too, right, is that she ages rapidly, or at least...
That's what happens in all these movies.
Yeah,
though,
right? She's, like, 5, but she looks like she's, like, a teenager. But, yeah, like, there are a lot of
like
actors...
Ileana.
Yeah, right. There are a lot of actors in this.
We figured it out.
Well-known actors.
We figured it out.
Yeah.
Because the last name of the director is Scott. As in Ridley Scott.
As in Ridley Scott.
Yes. As Luke Scott is Ridley Scott's kid. This is a Scott-free production.
Yes.
It's written by Seth Owen, who he hasn't written anything else that I know of. I don't hate the script. It's okay. Mm-hmm. We're going to ruin it. We're going to talk about the twist at the end. Mm-hmm. And the twist sucks. It's kind of obvious.
Ruining the twist.
And we'll talk about that, too.
Sucks.
But let me read who's in this movie. Kate Mara, Anya Taylor-Joy, Toby Jones, Rose Leslie, Michelle Yeoh, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Paul Giamatti, and that lady who plays the bitchy detective on Sherlock, and she's in a lot of stuff where she just plays a bitchy lady, but she's really a good actress, though. She's in it, too.
Yes.
And so this is just like... Vanity Project isn't exactly...
You forgot your surprise... cameo at the end.
That's right.
Yeah.
Surprise Brian Cox.
Yes.
Suddenly like, oh, the project didn't work out the way that we wanted. She was no Wolverine. Yeah. So it's a vanity project, right?
It is.
It's like my kid wants to make a movie. We got a pretty good script, but what the hell? Let's just shoot this thing.
Yeah, right.
And that's what we got. And it's disappointing ultimately because I found it very predictable. When we got to the end and the twist, and the twist is, spoilers, Kate Mara's a robot child too from a competing program.
Yeah.
But I showed you my notes and I'm like, look here at the 2-minute mark. What do I have written down?
Yeah.
Kate Mara is a genetically engineered super soldier or whatever.
Yeah.
And they gave it away because she's talking to her GPS navigation, and the GPS is like, turn here, or whatever. And she's like, thank you. I was like, that's kind of robotic. In a movie about people that are apparently robots or whatever.
Or at least not human. Yeah. Yeah, or arguably not human.
So it's 92 minutes is not long. It's a great, like, even the 4th season Twilight Zone, where they're an hour long or whatever. The twist is... these people, these inhuman scientists, felt for this thing that they made, and they ended up wanting to protect it. And the thing that was, the twist is that there's another program, and they don't want empathy. They don't want the subject itself to have empathy and care about Rose Leslie's character or want to go to the lake or whatever. All those things are bad things. Like, we need somebody who can just go in and shoot a girl in the face, you know? Shoot Rose Leslie in the face.
Yeah.
But that's it. There's no third act.
Yes.
That's the problem with a aforementioned Shyamalan movie, is that there is no third act.
No, you're right. And one thing
except for Brian Cox going, it's Wolverine. She's an animal.
Similar thing that I as we were talking about this, that I realized that this movie and New Mutants both has is in both films, somebody got the order to execute or eliminate somebody, and somebody was going to go through with it, So that is a similarity.
I think I remember something in the X-Men comics about. I think they did something. I don't know if she was a traitor or she was just taking somebody else's side, but I think like Celia Reyes does, like, do something villainous at some point. Because nominally the X-Men have all these like support characters that are like human, although Celia Reyes turns out to be a mutant. But in the movie, it's just like, nah, she's just bad. She's just all bad.
And she's like the only one there.
And there's so much, we're going back. There's so much that's like stolen from other movies. It's just like she syndromes them at the end. All the New Mutants run in to stop her, and then she just like puts them in bubbles.
Yeah.
And they're all in bubbles.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool that the bubbles, like soap bubbles, were round, but then they had like flat surfaces where they were connected. Like the effect was cool, but
yeah.
Suddenly it's like, no, I just do this thing that I could have done the whole movie when you were acting up.
You were running around and putting crap in my tea to make me fall asleep.
Yeah, I was going to go through all this trouble to sedate you and then give you a lethin jack. So to give Rain time to run in and cut my face off when I could have just like put you in a bubble and suffocated you to death, I guess.
I know. Well, and then
why did they just shoot Morgan? Same problem. Let's go through all this trouble of like giving her a lethal injection.
I know.
And that's going to give her time to get out. And
well, that's why. That's exactly why. It's a movie convention. It's bad writing. Yeah.
Why did Kate Mara just pop her in the back of the head?
Because this is the convention that they
It's too
set
bad.
up.
It's a great looking movie. There's so much suggested by all these little things. You know, she calls Michelle Yeoh, who is barely in the movie.
Barely.
She calls her mother. I don't know if it's just if they told her to do that or if they, you know, I can
imprinted on
see
her or something.
I like the fact that it starts in medias res. I say this all the time, but you know, I can see a first act where we're raising Morgan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're forming an attachment to her, but they want her to be creepy and weird from the outset. And part of it is that like she seems like she's the villain, but she's really the victim, and you're just cheating yourself out of like storytelling. But if you've only got $8 million, you only got $8 million.
Well, Jennifer Jason Leigh is barely in this either.
Does she? Is it in her? She tells her agent, "I only want to play roles that make it seem like I'm on drugs all the time." That's what I want to do.
I don't know.
Starting with weeds, we're gonna go from there. And when I'm in Annihilation, my character's on heavy duty pain pills because of my cancer. Or whatever.
Yeah, right.
But she's great.
She's
still fantastic.
Yeah.
Was Michelle Yeoh in Sunshine? She was. You should see Sunshine.
Okay.
List.
I haven't seen it.
Let's wrap it up. I lied. We're over an hour.
Oh, okay.
Give me your Anya thoughts. Let's get some Anya.
Get some Anya. Get some Joy. I like her. I think she's a good actress. I'll say something about Emma real quick. So, we saw Emma earlier this year in the theaters. It's probably one of the last films we saw in the theaters this year. And I am a huge Jane Austen fan. I'm an Emma fan. And I'm an Anya Taylor-Joy fan. And I hated that movie.
Yeah, wasn't good.
Not a very good movie. And I was wondering,
you know, like how like Emma's like really fun. There's a lot of huge characters in it, and everybody's kind of bouncing off each other. Mm-hmm. Minimalist.
Yeah.
What if you tamp it all down and everybody's just staring at each other? And then Bill Nighy has to like go make some fart sounds, and those are the jokes.
I know. I mean, I like Bill
here's
Nighy,
the thing.
but yeah.
I think it's matching its heroin. Whew. Let's get some joy. Some heroin.
Yeah, right.
Because I think Anya Taylor-Joy has been afforded the opportunity to play flat characters.
Yeah.
So Beth Harmon, emotionally reserved.
Yeah.
The girl from Split, literally, you know, is traumatized in her youth. You know, has cut herself or whatever. Like no emotions. The witch, Puritan girl, who if she smiles, she has to say 50 Hail Marys.
Morgan,
bleached eyebrows.
Yeah.
Thoroughbreds, which you haven't seen, and I recommend. You know, flat effect rich girl, like. Everybody's got a type. Nobody would ask.
So are you saying she doesn't have range?
Harrison Ford could play a Scottish lord. We don't know yet, do we?
No.
Although, even in something stupid like Morgan, where she's supposed to be flat effect, and you've got, suddenly the movie stops, Paul Giamatti walks in and goes, "It's okay if I raise the acting level by 1 million in this movie for about 5 minutes, and then I'll just leave?"
I know.
And like, He's great in that scene, although it makes no sense why a child psychologist is screaming at this child.
No.
And then Morgan, who starts off like, not only is she sort of robotic, but also I love the idea that there's a subtext in that scene where she's trying to give him the answers that she knows she has, because she just wants to go back to the lake. And yeah, maybe she'll rip your throat out with her teeth, or maybe she'll feel bad or whatever, but it doesn't matter because she's going to tell you what she knows you want to hear. But he immediately wants to get under that. And so she starts to break down when he just starts screaming at her. And she does an amazing job in that scene.
Yeah, she does.
And then she goes off and plays like another flat character. So I don't know. I think she's got the chops. We haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, I mean, that might be. But I feel like maybe the directing in Emma wasn't that great.
No, first-time director.
But yeah, so I wasn't, like, after I seen that, I was like, is it Anya Taylor-Joy? No, because I do like her in other things. Like, I do think that I loved her in Queen's Gambit, and I do think that Ileana...
Sounds like a TV show or two.
Yeah.
She was on, like, a wizard TV show or something, wasn't it?
Okay, I don't know.
Anyway.
And I do think that Ileana was the standout in New Mutants. So, I mean, I like her. I you know, am totally willing to give something a shot with her in it, you know, if she's in it. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what other things she takes on.
Me too. You're going to put some New Mutants in the MCU? Go back to your cast sheet and go, I'll take this one.
Yeah, right?
What's a blue hunt? Skip.
Yeah.
And if Charlie, what's his name, is clean, give him another shot.
Oh, my God.
Give him a flat top.
Oh.
That's the Sam Guthrie's always been depicted as having, like...
A flat top?
The total brush cut.
Yeah, right.
There's a couple characters like that in X-Men who, I guess, Mark Sylvester just liked drawing brush cuts or something like that. So Rogue had one, Legion, funny. Sam Guthrie, what else?
I don't know.
A couple of the Morlocks, probably.
It's just a popular look.
Yeah, it's just like, stick my finger in a socket and then get the clippers. And we will do this the way it's supposed to be done, 80s style.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. I never understood a single word he said, but I helped him drink his wine. And he always...
Is he literally a bullfrog? Is that what's going on?
I always took it to mean that he literally was a bullfrog.
So
Yeah.
Where did you get all that wine from?
I don't know. I don't think about it too hard. Maybe he's friends with Tiana and Naveen, and he's been to her restaurant.
It's not slime, it's mucus.
That's right.
If you want to watch a good frog-related movie, I
Yeah.
recommend The Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
Which I'm thinking odds are you haven't seen.
I'm kind of thinking odds are you haven't seen it too. Yeah, and it's on Netflix right now.
And you should.
Yeah, watch it before it moves to Disney Plus, before the contract.
Oh, it absolutely
ends up.
will, yeah.
So watch it now when you have the chance.
Stop rewatching Hercules. Watch a good Disney movie.
Yeah.
The Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
We rewatched Hercules not that long ago, and like,
I did.
Yeah, well, I saw it with you, and I really like Megara, but I think she's like the best part of that movie, in my opinion. I think
Best traitorous,
well,
evil part of it.
the rest of it was not great.
I don't make a habit of watching James Wood movies unless he's playing Buddy Holly. You can find us on social media at Just Enough Trope. We're also on the streaming platforms out there. You know how it works. I'm coming to a middle of the period of me doing all this at the end of a show, right? 6 years, I don't develop a button I can hit that just does this, right? But then people wouldn't listen to it. That's why we make it unique every time.
We do make it fresh every time.
So give
make it
us
fresh
a
every
subscription.
time.
Throw that our way. Give us a rating. Give us a review. We need those things
We
to
do.
tell our Morgan computer overlords that that's what we need. So
Yes.
give us 5 Lockheed puppets. It's like I can talk about my feelings because I'm a puppet. That's
Yeah.
the origin of that, right? That's where that comes from.
Well, I thought so.
That's the secret backstory.
But, like, she had it when she was a kid in the flashback.
A lot of things, yeah. Well, they weren't even that smart then. It wasn't a suggestion. It was literally a child's puppet.
It was literally
I
a
hate
child's
everything.
puppet.
Give us 5 stars and don't look for the fault in them. We're going to sign off. This is Just Enough Trope. You know that. I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Mika Nana.
And keep the geek fires burning well.
Joy